Alright everyone, we start off with a rather funny video today, which is that on Twitter the other day, the Hawaii GOP was talking about me, and so naturally all the leftists went completely bananas. There's a link in the description. You can join the fun. I know I don't use Twitter anymore, but a lot of you do, so you can have some fun shit posting there if you want to. Basically, it boils down to I'm a Nazi and a devil worshipper, I guess. Anyway, first and foremost though, there's a pinned comment if you're watching this on YouTube to 4 other video hosting sites that I use. I make exclusive content on BitChute, and in the fairly near future when I'm back in the Netherlands with an internet connection that works properly, I'll be making 2 exclusives a day just on alt tech, so on those 4 sites, as well as Brighteon, which isn't listed right now because my connection's too slow to actually sit there for an extra hour uploading things. But anyway, take a look at this, because basically, any time that I'm talked about, classical liberal, who is blocked, but, I guess stalks me or something anyway, shows up to whine about how I supposedly deny the Holocaust. Now, keep in mind, this is the clip that he perpetually uses. He has already been told that that clip doesn't represent my views, number 1, and I think comes from 2012, actually, number 2. There's a reason that it's not on actual YouTube, but it's actually a really funny comment. Because these people, by and large, him and a few others are disingenuous. They know that I don't deny the Holocaust. They post it because it's low-hanging fruit to whip other people into a frenzy. But then you got to understand the majority of these people, they've never seen a single video by me. So if they see that I've been labeled a Nazi, they'll just parrot the same thing. That's what you see in this thread. But there was one that was, this one's great. And actually there's a troll there too, and I think I know the individual, so congrats to you, you've really taken them in. First you've got Sam here, it's at Nutmeg Magi or something like that. Styx Hexenhammer is an actual Holocaust-denying Nazi. There are no shades if anyone I disagree with is a Nazi in calling him that. A great deal of his content is about how he thinks the Third Reich got a bad rap and weren't really that bad. He's also comically unintelligent. Where is this content that you're talking about? See, this falls under the disingenuous category. The individual is presumably aware that there's no such content anywhere on the internet from me. That being said, I can prove that, but, in order to do that, somebody would have to comb through, 10,000 fucking videos? So since the average person, certainly the average leftist, doesn't have that kind of stamina to watch content, I know that they ain't got no job, but, they still have some things in life to do. I doubt that they're going to take the time to actually care enough to comb through it. So what you have is a situation, we see this with leftists a lot, where a lie is simply repeated ad nauseum, and other people, bystanders, they typically will just take that up. If they see 5 or 6 people saying the same thing, they go with the flow. They go with the herd. They've even done experiments about this. They had this one, this was years ago. There was this experiment where they had a room full of Confederates, like in a waiting room. A Confederate in this sense is someone who's working for the experimenter. And they'd have a bunch of people in the waiting room, and they would just repeatedly get up randomly and then sit back down every minute or so. And a person who's being experimented upon, they walk in, they're seeing these people do this, and eventually, a lot of times, they'll just start doing it too. They haven't been told to. There's no legitimate purpose to it. They'll just go with the flow because it's peer pressure. They don't even have to be talked to in this context. We see this a lot among leftists. They tend to be very susceptible to a lemming-like herd mentality. But anyway, the other part is that there's someone there, and I believe this is a troll. Now, I don't believe this is disingenuous. I think this is meant to troll both fans of mine and the leftists, the latter because of their stupidity, and saying that that I had said that the crematoriums were actually meant to cook pizza, that the furnaces... that they were actually for cooking. That has never been stated, so I'm assuming that, again, that's some sort of a joke. Probably at the leftist expense, because a couple people seem to believe it. They actually believe that I did have such beliefs. So yeah, you can look through there and you'll find plenty of hilarity. The cringe of the left is palpable, because most often what they believe about people is straight up not true. They also believe that Sargon of Akkad is a Nazi. They believe that, well, most of the alt media are Nazis, are fascists of some sort. Tim Pool is apparently far right. I'm far right. Basically anyone they don't agree with is an extremist. And also alt tech is just a bunch of Nazis too. Which is interesting because I seem to see a lot more of that shit on mainline tech, actually. Richard Spencer still has a Twitter account. Probably because he moved to the left. He decided to vote for Biden, so they tolerate him still, I guess. Something like that. I no longer use it, but, I mean, some of you will have a good time. There's plenty of cringe there. You can goof around with the leftists if you are truly into that sort of thing. I just thought that was a funny way to start the day. Partially, the news keeps getting more boring because we no longer have a fun president. We have a shitty one. We have Beijing Biden in there. He's boring as hell except when he's flat out screwing up, and he does that a lot, but I mean, it's sort of like when Hillary Clinton there for a while after the 2016 election. Every single day she'd blame a different group responsible for her loss. Russia, the DNC abandoning her, pink hat voters not showing up enough, vast right-wing conspiracy and stuff. It was funny for a while, but then it just gets old. So politics at the moment can be a little bit boring, a little bit lackluster, and so when things like this happen, and it's fun getting tweeted out by the Hawaii's official GOP page. It's like, I think the Hawaii GOP is like 6 seats in the Hawaii House or something. So it's not exactly a dynamic, powerful force, although the people of Hawaii are screwing themselves by adhering to far-left policies. You're not deriving any form of improvement by continuing the high-tax culture you have there. Just to be clear, if anything, it stymies the sort of development that would make Hawaii a bigger economic powerhouse. But, you know, it is what it is. And it's funny to see the leftists complain. It's like when I got tweeted out by Donald Trump. I mean, their heads were spinning completely. This has happened repeatedly throughout my content creating career, that anytime this happens, they go completely berserk. Oh my God! You're amplifying the words of a Nazi. Yes, the free speech Nazi, the one that's telling you to be left alone by government, to not be censored, and to, you know, go about your life and sing Kumbaya. This is apparently the same as the Third Reich, according to these people. I'm not surprised, though. They adhere to a very strange worldview, a very odd, bizarre, and warped ideology. That's about all. Peace out.